Now start. There are the mighty Yudha Manu, the very powerful Uttamanju, the son of Shubhadra, and sons of Draupadi. All these warriors, the great chariot fighters. But for information of best of the Brahmins, let me tell you about the captains who are especially qualified to lead my military force. There are personalities like Bhishma, Karan, Krapa, Ashwathama, Vikarna, and the son of Somadatta, called Bhurishrava, who are the always victorious in battle. Purport Duryodhana mentions the exceptional heroes in the battle, all of whom are ever victorious. Vikarna is the brother of Duryodhana. Ashwathama is the son of Dronacharya and Somadatta or Bhurishrava is the son of the king of the Bahilkash. Karna is the half brother of Arjuna as he was born on Kunti before her marriage. With King Pandu, Kripacharya twin sister married Dronacharya. There are many other heroes who are prepared to lay down their lives for my sake. All of them are well equipped with different kinds of weapons and all are experienced in military science. Purport as powerful as the others and concert like a Jayadratha. Kartavavarma and Salya all are determined to lay down their lives for Duryodhana's sake. In other words, it is already concluded that all of them would die in the battle of Kurukshetra for joining the party of the sinful Duryodhana. Duryodhana was, of course, confident of his victory on account of the above mentioned combined strength of his friends. Our strength is immeasurable and we are perfectly protected by grandfather Bhishma, whereas the strength of the Pandavas, carefully protected by Bhima, is limited. Purport herein as an estimation of comparative strength is made by Duryodhana. He thinks that the strength of his armed forces in immeasurable being specifically protected by the most experienced general grandfather Bhishma. Of the other hand, the forces of the Pandavas are limited, being protected by a less experienced general Bhim, who is like a pig in the presence of Bhishma. Duryodhana was always envious of Bhima because he knew perfectly well that if the should die at all, he would only be killed by Bhim, but at the same time he was confident of his victory on account of the presence of Bhishma, who was a far superior general. His conclusion that he would come out of the battle victorious was well ascertained. All of you must now give full support to Grandfather Bhishma as you stand at your respective strategic points of entrance into the phalanx of the army. Upon Duryodhana, after raising the powers process of Bhishma, further considered that others might think that they had been considered less important, so in his usual diplomatic way, he tried to adjust the situation in the above words. He emphasized that Vishwadeva was undoubtedly the greatest hero, but he was an old man, so everyone must especially think of his protection from all sides. He might become engaged in the fight, and the enemy might take advantage of his full engagement on one side. Therefore, it was important that other heroes not leave their strategic position and allow the enemy to break the phalanx. Duryodhana clearly felt that the victory of the Kurus depended on the presence of Bhishma Deva. He was confident of the full support of Bhishma Deva and Dronacharya in the battle because he well knew that they did not even speak a word. Even Arjuna, while Draupadi, in her helpless condition, had appealed to them for justice while she was being forced to appear naked in the presence of all the great generals in the assembly. Although he knew that the those two generals had some sort of affection for the Pandavas, he hoped that this general would now completely give it up as they had done during the gambling performance. Then Bhishma, the great valiant grandsire of the Kuru dynasty, the grandfather of the fighters, blew his conch shell very loudly, making a sound like a roar of a lion giving a Duryodhana joy. Purport the grandsire of Kuru dynasty could understand the inner meaning of heart of his grandson Duryodhana, and out of his natural compassion for him he tried to cheer him by blowing his conch shell very loudly, benefiting his position as a lion indirectly by the symbolism of the conch shell. He informed his depressed grandson Duryodhana that he had no chance of victory in the battle because the Supreme Lord Krishna was on the other side, but still it was his duty to conduct the fight, and no pains would be spared in that connection. After that, the consuls, drums, bugles, trumpets, and horns were all suddenly sounding, and the combined sound was tumultuous. tumultuous. Of the other side, both Lord Krishna and Arjuna stationed on a great chariot drawn by white horses sounded their residential conch shells. Purport in contrast with the conch shell blown by Bhishma Deva, the conch shells in the hands of Krishna and Arjuna are described as the sounding of the transcendental conch shell indicated that there was no hope of victory for the other side because Krishna was on the side of the Pandavas. Jayastu Pandav Putram Yasham Pake Che Janardhanam. Victory as always with persons like a sons of Pandu because Lord Krishna is associated with them, and whenever at and where the Lord is present, the goddess of fortune is always there because the goddess of fortune never lives alone without her husband. Their, their victory and fortune were awaiting Arjuna, as indicated by the transcendental sound produced by the conch shell of Vishnu or Lord Krishna beside the chariot on which both the friends were seated had been donated by Agni, the fire god, to Arjuna, and this indicated that this chariot was capable of conquering all sides whenever it was drawn over the three words. Lord Krishna below his conceal called the Panchagajanya. Arjuna below this the Devadatta, and Bhima the voracious eater and performer of the Herculean task. Below his terrific conceal called Pondra. Purport Lord Krishna is referred to as a Rishikesha in this verse because he is the owner of all senses. The living entities are part of parcel of him. Therefore, the senses of the living entities are also part the parcel of his senses. The impersonalities cannot account for the senses of the living entities, and therefore they are always senses to describe all living entities and senseless or impersonal. The Lord situated in the hearts of Lord all living entities directs their senses, but he directs in terms of the surrender of the living entity. And in case of a pure devote, he directly controls the senses here on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. The Lord directly controls the transcendental senses of the Arjuna, and thus he particular name of Rishikesa. The Lord has different names according to his different activities. For example, his name is Madhushudan because he killed the demon of the name of Madhu. His name is Govinda because he gives pleasure to the cows and to the senses. His name is Vasudeva because he appeared as the son of Vasudeva. His name is Devaki Nandan because he accepted Devaki as his father. His name is Yashoda Nandan because he awarded his childhood pastimes to Yasoda at Vrindavan. His name is Partha Sarthi because he worked as the charioteer of his friend Arjuna. Similarly, his name is Rishikesha because he gave a direction to Arjuna on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. Arjuna is referred to as a Dhananjaya in this verse because he helped his elder brother in fetching wealth when it was required by the king to make expenditure for different sacrifices. Similarly, Bhim is known as Varkodra because he could eat as a voraciously as he could perform Herculean tasks such as killing the demon Hidamba. So the particular types of conch shell blown by the different personalities on the side of the Pandavas, beginning with the lords were all very encouraging to fighting soldiers. On the other side, there were no such credits, nor the presence of Lord Krishna, the supreme director, nor that of goddess of fortune. So they were predestined to lose the battle, and that was the message announced by the sound of the council. King Yudhishthir, the son of Kunti, below his council, the Anant Vijay and Nakula as a Sahdev below the Ghosha and Mani Pushpaka, the great archer, the king of Kasi, the great fighter Shikhandi, Drishyadhuman, Virat, the unconquerable Tyaki, Viropada, the son of Draupadi, and the others, O king, such as the mighty Ram, son of Shubhadra, all below their respective councils. Purport Sanjaya informed King Dhritarashtra very tactfully that his the unwise policy of deceiving the sons of Pandu and endeavoring to enthrone his own sons on the seat of the kingdom was not very laudable. The sign already clearly indicated that the whole Kuru density would be killed in that great battle beginning with the grandsire Bhishma down to the grandson like Abhimanyu and others, including kings from many states of the world. All were present there and all were doomed. The whole catastrophe was due to King Dhritarashtra because he encouraged the policy followed by his sons. The blowing of these different conch shells become uproarious, vibrating both in the sky and on the earth. It shattered in the hearts of the sons of Dhritarashtra. Purport when Bhishma and the others on the side of Duryodhana blow their respective conch shells, there was no heart breaking on the part of the Pandavas. Such occurrences are not mentioned, but in his particular verse it is mentioned that the hearts of the sons of Dhritarashtra were shattered by the sounds vibrated by the Pandavas party. It is due to Pandavas and their confidence in Lord Krishna. One, to, one who takes shelter of the Supreme Lord has nothing to fear, even in the midst of the greatest calamity. At that time, Arjuna, the son of Pandu, seated in the chariot bearing the flag marked with the Hanuman, took up his bow and prepared to shoot his arrow. O king, after looking at the sons of Dhritarashtra in military Arya Arjuna, then spoke to Lord Krishna this verse. Purport the battle was just about to begin. It is understood from the above statement that the sons of Dhritarashtra were more or less disheartened by the unaccepted arrangement of military force by the Pandavas, who were guided by the direct instruction of Lord Krishna on the battlefield. The emblem of Hanuman on the flag of Arjuna is the another sign of victory because Hanuman cooperated with the Lord Rama in the battle between Rama and Ravana, and Lord Rama emerged the victorious. Now both Ram and Hanuman were present on the chariot for Arjuna to help him. Lord Krishna is Rama himself, and wherever Lord Rama is his eternal servitor, Hanuman and his eternal consort Sita, the goddess of fortune, are present. Therefore, Arjuna had no cause to fear any enemies whatsoever. And above all, the Lord of senses, Lord Krishna was a personally present to give him direction. Thus, all good counsel was available to Arjuna in the matter of executing the battle in such a auspicious condition arranged by the Lord for his eternal devote lay the sign of assured victory. Jai Shri Krishna, Radhe Radhe.